I hope you are having a great morning and a great start to your week. I thought today I'd have you just get ready with me while I do my makeup and talk about some different things that are going on. So come join me and we'll get started right now. So I'm going to start with Too Faced Poreless and Primed Primer. Well, actually it's primed and poreless, but you know what I'm saying. Just put a little bit here and here. I'm going to take off my glasses because it's hard to do with them on. Alright. I'm just putting it all over my face. You don't need very much, just a dot here and there. With any primer, it's not just with this particular primer. And that helps the makeup to adhere to your skin better. It keeps it to last longer. You know, and sometimes I forget things, so just overlook it. Just know that I've got everything on. I'm going to go ahead while I'm at it and do my eye primer. And that is also Too Faced. It's 24-hour insurance, which I always love to use this. I do have some others that I plan to use as well, so you won't be seeing the same one all the time. This is my favorite go-to though, because it really does work. But everybody's different, so you just have to kind of go with the flow. So I hope everybody's doing good and had a good weekend. Nothing too exciting on my end, which is good. Not a very big fan of drama, so that's just me personally. Also, I have from Too Faced is their Hangover RX Pillow Balm, and it's works just fabulous. This is strawberry flavored. It's from their Christmas collection, and it smells just like strawberries. And I like to go ahead and just put some on my lips. That way to treat if there's any cracking going on, dryness. So that's my pre-makeup routine right there as far as putting makeup on. So I'm all primed, moisturized, all of that good stuff. And also, I just want to make this emphasis, prior to putting on my primer, you have to be putting on some type of moisturizer, preferably sunblock, SPF. You know, a lot of the makeup say they have 25, 20, 15. You can't really depend on that because it depends on how much of that you use on your face. So the higher the SPF for a sunblock, the better. And I almost, even though it says that it has it in the makeup items, I almost just don't even trust that, to be honest. So the higher the SPF, the better. But please put on sunblock before you put on your primer and your foundation, okay? And so we're going to get started. I'm going to use my Estee Lauder today. And this is their Double Wear foundation. And I'm just shaking it up really good. The trick with this particular foundation that I didn't find out until after some use, and I was struggling with it, is once you put it on your face, it starts to set up pretty quick. So you have to do each area at a time, like put some on and then go ahead and brush it in as soon as possible, because if you don't, it will stick at that spot and it's so hard to move around. And I struggled with that. I didn't understand it until I actually saw on Bluetooth. So let's see here. So let's go ahead and get my trusty electric brush here. And Doing circular motions helps make sure it gets into every little crack and nook and nanny in your face. Then doing it straight up and down or straight across. I have my little mirror here I'm going to look at. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this other side real quick. Y'all, I don't have my contacts in, so if I'm looking in a different way, or it's kind of goofy looking, just know I don't have my contacts on. I don't know, it's easier for me to put my makeup on up close when I don't have my contacts on. Okay, I think that's pretty good in there. And yes, it does set up on your wrist here pretty fast as well, so you have to move in that, get that going as well here. Let's see, very good. And one more. Yeah, nope, I'm just going to use the rest of it. Okay. All right. I promise I'll try to be quicker than normally, y'all. It's hard. I go for about an hour doing my makeup and hair. So I haven't found an easier solution. And talking makes it worse, but I also want you guys to see how I do my makeup. Okay, I'm just kind of making sure there's nothing else that's hanging around my face. Okay, that's good. I'm going to look to see if I need to put concealer on any particular area, if it matters or not. Not really, but I am going to put just a tiny bit on this one area. I have this old area where there's like a little tiny bit that's used to be a mole that got removed, and it's still kind of like just a little bit noticeable. I do have this scar on the other side of my face, which I explained in my last video, and I honestly don't even try covering it up because it's there. And it's on the side, so oops, it's on the side, so it's not so noticeable. It's okay. We're our worst critic, aren't we? All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put on my under eye concealer as well. Lately, I've been forgetting to put this on until after I get the rest of my makeup on, and it's awful. Trying to remember to do all that. It's, you know, y'all need to like take inventory on your makeup. Write down everything you put on your face, and in the order that they go in, and count how many steps it takes to do your makeup. Some of you probably only do a few steps because, you know, you may not do very much with makeup or not, but mine, it's a 13, 14 step process. I just was like floored by that. If you count every individual thing that you do. Some days I forget one or two items. And that's okay, you know, if you do that. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and first and foremost, I think I'm going to do my bronzer and contour first. This is a newer product for me. It's from Ofra, and I just used it once yesterday to try it, and it did pretty good. I'll just open it up for you. That's what the inside of it looks like. Okay, so it's got your contour, contour bronzer, or contour bronzer, and your highlighter. And we'll be using the highlighter today as well. And this is the outside of it. And they've got really good cosmetics. I don't have any really personally. This is my first one, but I've read a lot of great reviews. So, all right, okay. I think we should probably try to do the bronzer first. It's really kind of subtle. So, which is good. I don't need anything that's really dark. Just enough to kind of just give me a little bit of a color. And I need that especially because I'm going to Florida in a few weeks here. It would be nice to have a little bit of color, even though I'm going to hopefully get some color when I'm there. Let's see here. Okay. And then I'm going to use just a tiny bit of this contour. Just where I want my blush to be. I could contour my nose, but once again, we're our worst critic and I don't like my nose. But that's okay. It is there. So I choose not to do a contour on my nose. Don't we all have like a piece of us that we don't necessarily care for? You know, and that's me right there, you know. I love my nose because it's God gave it to me, but I don't like to accentuate it. Let's put it that way. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is blush, and it is the Seraphine Botanicals. Okay, and these are different colors that you can use, and you can even probably use this one on the end to do a little bit of contouring. But I use this one right here, this color, to do my blush, and it's a cream. A lot of times I'll use my fingers to put it on. I'm not going to do that today. Just because I'm going to be kind of mixing it with this blush here. There we go. It's getting in there. Okay. It's pretty dark, but you'll see that it is very dark, but it'll lighten up. You'll see what I mean. Okay. And then we're going to put a little bit of our highlighter on, and this is where I use my fingers. I don't mess with a brush. I do sometimes, but in this situation, I'm not going to. Sure how I feel about this highlighter, but just a little there, a little there. Okay. And then finally we're going to go to my setting powder. And it's the Huda Beauty Setting Powder. Love this stuff. Love, love, love this stuff. Smells so good. You can see it'll lighten up this blush here pretty quickly, so. And this particular blush too does wear off a little bit, but I still love it. It's just weird, I just still really like it. Okay. Very good. And that's the foundation, that's everything I have on there, and we're gonna do my eyes. Hey everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that little segue into what I've used for makeup so far. I thought I'd try listing it that way. So at the end of this segment, which will be hopefully the end of this video, and I won't talk on for hours and hours, I will list the other remaining makeup items I've used. So I just keep trying different things and see what works best and what doesn't. So today I am going to be using the C3PO eye palette from ColourPop, and I'm looking at it because I want to say CP3O, but it's C3PO. And this palette is really good. I used it once because I couldn't wait. I wanted to see what it was like. Very awesome, beautiful colors, a lot of gold colors, different shades of gold. And of course you have browns and a really neat, nice little highlighter up there that feels like a super shadow shock shadow. You get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. But it's really soft, so you just be careful with that one. But they're all just really a beautiful color. So I think yesterday I went in with the not so gold color. I think we're gonna do the gold today. I'm gonna go straight up for the middle one, right here. And then I'm gonna do a brown as well. And probably start off with this color as well. So my plan is to do this on the lid, on the crease and the brow, and then this in the crease, and this on the brow is what I'll do. I may change my mind. You don't know with me sometimes, because I may do this one. I don't know. I really liked this color with this color. So anyways, we'll just get started with that. So I was gonna ask y'all today, have you ever just gotten in such a routine that you just automatically do something, like makeup, for instance, that we're doing now? Like a makeup routine, or a certain makeup product that you have to use, and you will refuse to be open to any other option or any other technique. But then suddenly you decide you've seen a technique that you really liked, and so you decide to do it, and it just changes your world. And you venture off, and then you develop some more wonderful techniques, and then you find some new products that you really loved, and so your whole makeup routine, products, everything's changed. And then one day, you're really fighting hard to do your makeup, and you're just struggling. You're not having a good day, you can't seem to get things to work right. In fact, I had one of those days recently where you think you have the best eyeshadows, and it's just you're struggling just to get it to apply properly, and your techniques aren't working. So what do? The first thing you do is you revert back to the old you, and start to use old techniques, and you go back, but you realize in doing that you no longer have all of your products that you used. You no longer have all the available techniques because you've moved past those. But you still try and it doesn't work. Have any of you been through that? Maybe not necessarily with makeup, but you may have went through some personal changes, um, maybe even just a change in relationships, change in your life, change in your career or location, and you're having a really hard time with things. And your first thought is to go back to what you used to do, go back to what was. And you get back there, and what do you find? I know for me, when I have reverted back, I find that I feel yucky because that's not me anymore, or things changed when you were gone, when you were doing other things and came back and things aren't the same anymore. They're not what they used to be. People have changed as well. And it makes you feel not good because it's not what you remembered it was, how it was. If you've ever been through that happening in that stage in your life to where you think you can just go back to how things were after you've been through significant changes, it's not going to be the same. So what do? You have to adapt to your current situation you're in. Now, some of that stuff, your old behaviors, maybe they were great coping mechanisms. Maybe they helped you through those tough, difficult times when you were back in that old place or that different season of your life. Nothing wrong with those techniques as long as they were positive and they weren't like addictions and that kind of stuff. But I bet you would find they don't do what they used to do for you. So what do you do? What do you do when you come up to these tough seasons or these tough changes you're going through and you just want to go back to the way things were because you knew things were better back then and you couldn't face it anymore and you couldn't take it? What do? Folks, you have to keep pressing on. You have to keep moving forward because life will keep moving forward. No matter how much it sucks that you're going through a hard time and you want to give up and just revert back to those old ways and those old situations, that's not going to get you anywhere. All it's going to get you is to having to retrace some steps again to get back to where you are now. And I'm sure if, I know I don't want to retrace any more steps. I've had a pretty rough few years of my life. And, I would not want to go back and have to do all this over again. Even though I feel I feel the old me sometimes wanting to sneak up and, deal with life the way it was dealt with before, and just thinking I'm going to be happy because, I'm dealing with it, but then it hits me that no, I'm not dealing with it. I'm still trying to revert back to my old ways to address situations, and it's not good. And it doesn't make me happy. It makes me feel yucky. Because that was the old me before my whole life, my whole existence changed. So the big thing in all of that is if you acknowledge or you recognize those behaviors, you can deal with them right there. I recently went through a situation where I was reverting back to some old behaviors and I caught it. Of course, I'd already got myself emotionally involved in the situation, but I caught it and I was like, okay, do what you have to do. Cry your eyes out. cry, scream, journal, whatever I have to do to get these feelings out, because that was the old you. That's not you now, and move forward. So that's what I had to do. Take that moment and acknowledge, yes, that this situation happened. I was reverting back to my old behaviors, and then just pick myself up, say today or tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to start over, get back on track, and keep moving forward. And then in doing that, you will be surprised at how your mindset changes and how you view something. And, you know, even with the simple act of praying, you know, going to sleep, before you go to sleep at night, saying a prayer, Lord, please change my mind, please change my heart, please help me to see the situation as you would have me see it, or please change my attitude back to where it was before all this happened, and please help me see the situation in the light of how I am now versus how I was before. You know, I mean, however you would handle that. Some people, they don't really pray, and I acknowledge that. If that's you and you don't, there's other ways to deal with things. You know, I personally think prayer is probably the top answer, but you can also journal too. You don't have to just pray. You can journal. Maybe write that person or persons a letter, and, you know, acknowledging the situation. And then the next day you wake up and it's a new day, and you can get the chance to start over and maybe view things differently. And for me, that's what I did. I woke up with a whole new vision and sight on how things were actually. And I could have kicked myself because I should have known better. But, you know, I didn't. So, a learning lesson, big learning lesson for me. And I'm glad that I learned my lesson and it didn't get into something that was a lot worse. Because it could have gotten to be something that was a lot worse. And don't know where I would be, you know, emotionally, that is. So, just a little thought for the week. If you're in any kind of difficult situation, trying to figure out what to do. Okay, so you can see this is my third color I'm using on my eyes, by the way. And I'm just doing it in my crease. I already have color on my brow here because I have hooded brows, and that's the problem. So I have to try to treat it differently, and this side it didn't do very good. I may redo that just a little bit. It happens. I'm using also this color switcher. I highly recommend it if you haven't had one, to clean your brushes that you can immediately switch the color on. Saves on having to use so many brushes too. Okay. You guys, I don't even hardly see any fallout from this. This is how wonderful this is. I don't see any fallout. Okay. See? All right, and so you can tell where I did the darker color in my crease, but I have the lighter color in the brow bone, and I use that also in my crease as well. I have the gold on the interior. Now I might do a little extra in a second, but first I'm going to do my little highlighting point at the top here. Okay. like to have a little shimmer shimmer. And then I just need this little tiny one here. And we're going to add a little bit shimmer to the interior of my eye here. Yeah, it's pretty. And then I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to add just a little bit and make sure there isn't, you know, kind of make sure that that blends together really good. And it looks beautiful. I think it looks good. And finally, we're gonna do, and that's the eyes that you can see. I don't know if you can tell or not, my hooded eyes, but we're going to add some eyeliner. And with the eyeliner, I try to get as close as possible to my eyelash line. That way you can still see my eyelid with the color on it. Some people even go underneath the eyelid, like on the waterline underneath, and you can do that as well. I've done it, but I don't do it too often. My eyes get pretty irritated as it is sometimes, so I try to be careful. Okay, so. And this is brown. And if you mess up, you mess up. No big deal. Everything is fixable. I have messed up quite a bit on different things. Like I said, I'm not a makeup artist, so this is just me doing it. I give all the credit to the makeup artists because they just do such wonderful work. I've had a few times in my life where I've had makeup artists do my makeup, and it's incredible what they can do. I just love to do makeup. Okay. I think that's good. I'm going to do the top up here now. And this is where it gets tricky because I have to use my other hand. I can't get this to bend. I mean, it's America. I can use this hand to even just do those little lines, but that's taken a lot of practice. And some days, my hand just doesn't want to cooperate. So that's why I say, if you mess up, you mess up. Do the best you can. Okay. And then I'm going to add another color to this. I got this in the mail. A couple of these, the Ofra product, and this is from Real Her. Their eyeliner came from BoxyCharm. So I've been trying their new product. But I'm putting this underneath the line there to add a little depth and a little color, extra color as well. fall out here, but it's not anything I'm gonna complain about. Just make sure we got everything off. And it's really not much, it's just a tiny bit over in this area. Nothing to gripe or complain about for sure. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and do my mascara. I'm using Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Before that, let's curl my eyes. I don't think I've used this on video yet, but I do that. I don't have to use this too often because this mascara really does curl my eyes, my eyelashes, so. Okay. Some people go back in and reapply it too. You can always do that. And I do underneath too. And it does give that illusion that I have eyeliner in some areas. Even though I don't. Because, like I said, they say you go all the way under your eyeline, your waterline, it makes you look older. I don't know if that's true or not, I'll be honest. But anything helps at this point in my life. Okay. Alright, there's that. And then we're going to do my brow line. I'll be honest, y'all. I hate doing my eyebrows. I don't hate it, forgive me. I highly dislike it. Let's put it that way, because I feel like I can never get them exactly right. And I actually would rather just ignore them, to be honest. And especially this one over here, that chooses to be disobedient, not follow the normal line. That's what makes it hard. I'm going to take Benefit's Brow Gel. I've worn this so much it's actually worn off the label. I know one thing I have issues with my eyebrows is matching the color. See, I'm usually a dirty blonde. Dark blonde. Dirty blonde, light brown, whatever you want to call it. And my eyebrows are like a light black. And so it's really hard to match. So, and the brow color, brow gels are all different. Sometimes the colors even are all different, as far as there's no medium brown that is alike. So it makes it so challenging to match it. Yeah, it's the one thing I'm not very confident in, which I'm working on, is my eyebrow technique. So that's definitely a problem, a little bit of a problem for me. Okay, well, it is. And finally, I'm going to use ColourPop's Fudgy Warm Lipstick. And it smells so amazing. There you have it, folks. Ta-da! And I'm gonna try to give you a close-up here so you can see my eyes. And I'm gonna shut my eyes here and just move them this way. And there you go. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. It's been just a blessing to be able to talk with you. Please join me again next Monday for our next episode. And I hope you have a great week. Take each day one day at a time. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.